The year was 2025. Keanu Reeves had officially retired from Hollywood after John Wick 9. Wick Goes West. He'd moved to a quiet loft in Budapest, of all places, where he spent most days riding an electric scooter, drinking lavender tea, and reading Dostoevsky in original Russian. You know, normal stuff. But retirement didn't last long. It never does for people like Keanu. It all started on a Tuesday. Keanu was reaching into his mini fridge for a yogurt, plain, organic, tragically unflavored, when he noticed something weird. There was a USB drive taped to the bottom of the fridge with duct tape and chewing gum. Weird. He lived alone. Keanu peeled it off, plugged it into his laptop, and saw one file. A video. The thumbnail showed a goat in sunglasses. He clicked play. A woman's voice, distorted and robotic, came through. "Hello, Mr. Reeves. You've been selected for a job. The target is in Zurich. You have 72 hours. Say yes, and a flight will be arranged. Say no, and the world will find out about the llama incident." Keanu blinked. What llama incident? The video ended. Keanu stared at the screen, then down the yogurt in one gulp and packed a bag. By midnight, he was in the air. The flight was empty except for a stewardess with a Russian accent, a scar under her eye, and the reflexes of a trained assassin. "Champagne, Mr. Reeves?" she asked, handing him a glass filled with something that wasn't champagne. It tasted like regret and motor oil. Keanu didn't flinch. "Who's the client?" The stewardess smiled faintly. "You'll know when you see him. Or smell him." She walked away before he could ask more. Zurich. 6:44 a.m. Keanu landed, changed into a sleek black suit, and made his way to an underground jazz club hidden beneath a cheese shop. Password, Gorgonzola. He hated himself for saying it. Inside, the place was empty except for a saxophonist playing for no one, a bartender who looked suspiciously like Steve Buscemi in a wig, and a short man in a velvet trench coat made of leopard print. The man turned around. It was Jean-Pierre Dubois, a disgraced French perfume mogul turned black market chemist. His cologne was illegal in 9 countries and caused hallucinations in at least 4. "Keanu," he exclaimed with a thick accent. "You came. I knew you would. You never say no to mystery." Keanu raised an eyebrow. "What's the job?" Jean-Pierre lit a cigarette and exhaled directly into a fern. "There's a scent, a formula, stolen from me. It's called Sepulture Number 9. The moment you smell it, you forget your name and fall in love with the first person you see." Keanu blinked. "Sounds like Tinder in a bottle." Jean-Pierre nodded solemnly. "It's in the hands of the wrong people." Keanu sat down. "I'm listening." The target, a Ukrainian oligarch turned fragrance dealer named Viktor Chekhov. Real estate tycoon by day, scent trafficker by night. Operates out of a floating casino on the Danube. Ruthless. Paranoid. Obsessed with rare colognes and 90s sitcoms. The mission: infiltrate the casino, locate the vial of Sepulture Number 9, extract it, and get out alive. No backup. No gadgets. No time. Keanu leaned back, staring at the cracked ceiling of the jazz club. "I'll need a team." Jean-Pierre smiled. "Already arranged." Keanu's team was unconventional. Sophie the Wasp Nikolic, ex-cat burglar turned yoga instructor. Flexible in both morals and hamstrings. Gary, a Scottish hacker who lived in a van and only spoke through haiku. And Bronson, a 600-pound former sumo wrestler who now trained emotional support alpacas in Prague. No one knew why he was there, but no one ever asked. They met in an abandoned bowling alley outside Vienna. Keanu briefed them while sipping espresso from a tiny dimitas that looked ridiculous in Bronson's hands. "We go in tonight. No screw-ups." Gary tapped his laptop. "Scent flows through data. Casino codes unlocked now. But beware, betrayal." Everyone nodded, as if this was totally normal. That night, they arrived at the floating casino, Le Bateau Deluxe, dressed to kill. Keanu in a white tux. Sophie in diamonds she may or may not have stolen minutes earlier. Bronson wore a tuxedo t-shirt stretched over his frame, with a live alpaca on a leash. No one dared stop them. Inside, the atmosphere reeked of money, sweat, and betrayal. A jazz trio played Smells Like Teen Spirit in minor key. Viktor Chekhov was on the balcony, stroking a taxidermy parrot and laughing too hard at reruns of Friends. Keanu whispered into his cuff. "We've got eyes on the target. Move in." But before Sophie could pick the lock to the perfume vault, a single spotlight hit Keanu. "Mr. Reeves," a voice boomed from above. "So nice of you to join US." The music stopped. Guards poured in. Guns drawn. Alpaca screamed. Keanu cracked his neck. Well, he said calmly, guess we're doing this the hard way. The moment the spotlight hit him, Keanu knew two things. 1. The job was blown. 2. Someone on the inside had betrayed him. He didn't flinch. Not even when the guards raised their SMGs and Chekhov strutted down the red velvet staircase in a robe made of what looked suspiciously like endangered peacock feathers. Keanu Reeves. Chekhov grinned, his voice slippery like cheap cologne. I thought the goat video would get your attention. Keanu raised an eyebrow. You planted the USB? Chekhov nodded proudly. Of course. You're a predictable man. Mini fridge, yogurt, USB. All according to plan. Keanu cracked his knuckles. You watch too many Bond movies. Chekhov shrugged. I fund Bond movies. The guards moved in. Keanu adjusted his cuff. And then, all hell broke loose. Bronson barreled through two guards like a bowling ball made of muscle and rage. His alpaca spat directly into a third guard's eyes, who screamed and fell into a roulette table. Sophie, hanging upside down from a chandelier, no one saw how she got up there, dropped smoke pellets and vanished into the haze. Gary hacked the security system from a slot machine, muttering. Jackpot of chaos. Cameras blinded by justice. Download. Liberation. In the fog, Keanu fought like only Keanu can. Fluid, deadly, and borderline beautiful. He disarmed one guard with a dinner fork, knocked another unconscious using a frozen cabbage roll, and used a martini glass as a projectile. It shattered perfectly across a thug's forehead like a scene from John Wick, the cookbook. But it wasn't enough. They were too many. Chekhov fled, dragging the vial of Sepulchre No. 9 in a velvet pouch and yelling for his escape boat. As the team regrouped near the baccarat table, Sophie limped over, blood on her lip. He's got the scent, she panted. Keanu grabbed a fire axe off the wall and sliced through a curtain, revealing the back entrance. Then we take it back. Bronson handed him a backpack, tools, and cabbage rolls. For fuel. Perfect. The chase led them to the docks, where Chekhov's speedboat, covered in gold chrome and blasting its reigning men, was already pulling away. Keanu looked at the water. No boats nearby. No jet skis. Just swan paddle boats. Without a word, Keanu jumped into one and began furiously pedaling. Sophie and Bronson joined. Gary stayed behind, muttering about data tides and setting up a drone link. This is ridiculous. Chekhov shouted from his speedboat, firing a flare gun in their direction. Keanu kept pedaling, Joss said. No one outruns me in a swan. They caught up mid-river. Keanu leapt from the paddle boat onto the back of the speedboat, barely grabbing the railing. Chekhov tried to smash his fingers with a champagne bottle, but Keanu yanked him over the side and climbed aboard. The two men fought on the deck, silhouetted by moonlight and synth music. Chekhov swung wildly with a broken pool cue. Keanu countered with the butt of a flare gun. The vial rolled across the deck. Chekhov dove. So did Keanu. Crack. Glass shattered. The perfume sprayed. Both men froze. A moment passed. Then another. Chekhov blinked and stared at Keanu. You have beautiful eyes. Keanu groaned. Oh no. The Sepulchre No. 9 effect had activated. Chekhov lunged forward, trying to kiss him. Keanu dodged, grabbed a deck chair, and launched Chekhov overboard. Sorry, man. It's not mutual. Back on shore, the team reunited. Gary held up a phone. Interpol picked up Chekhov. They found 10 vials of illegal scents. And 400 bootleg VHS copies of Friends. Sophie smirked. What about the formula? Keanu pulled the shattered vial from his pocket, now empty. It's gone. Bronson offered a cabbage roll. Keanu took it. Later that night, they gathered in a safe house above a bakery in Bratislava. The mission had succeeded. Sort of. As they toasted with cheap beer and leftover pierogi, Gary looked up from his laptop. I'd decrypted the files on Chekhov's backup drive. And Keanu asked, there's another buyer. Someone bigger. Anonymous. Codename, the Florist. And they want the scent recreated. At any cost. Keanu leaned back, eyes narrowing. Then I'm not done. Sophie raised an eyebrow. You're going back in? He nodded slowly. No one should control love in a bottle. Bronson whispered something in Japanese and fed his alpaca a pierogi. Outside, snow started to fall. The scent war wasn't over. 3 days later, Keanu was in Amsterdam, standing outside a flower shop that didn't appear on any map. It was 3:14 a.m. The city was asleep, except for the red glow from the sign above the shop, flickering weakly. Flora obscura. Inside, tulips hung upside down from the ceiling like bats. Orchids bloomed from the walls. The scent of crushed roses mixed with something else, something chemical, almost metallic. Keanu pushed open the door. A small bell rang. A woman emerged from behind the counter. Late 40s. Sharp cheekbones. White gloves. And eyes that didn't blink enough. "You're late," she said. "I wasn't invited," Keanu replied. She smiled. "And yet, you came." The florist. Real name unknown. Rumored to be ex-CIA, ex-Mossad, or ex-wedding planner, depending on who you asked. She trafficked in floral compounds the way arms dealers moved nukes. And she wanted sepulture number 9. But Keanu had a different plan. He pulled out a vial from his coat, a fake, filled with nothing but lavender and dish soap. "I heard you're in the market for love," he said. The florist's lips curled. "Do you know what that formula could do? Collapse governments. Start wars. Or make $4.99 billion on Valentine's Day. And what would you do with it?" She leaned in. "I'd sell it to everyone. Make the whole world fall in love with each other. Chaos, romance, mass confusion. Beautiful, isn't it?" Keanu was silent for a beat. "You're insane. And you're still pretending you're just an actor." She snapped her fingers. 2 bodyguards emerged from behind a curtain of hanging vines. One held pruning shears the size of a machete. "You brought backup?" Keanu asked. "Of course," she replied. "You brought a fake vial." In that moment, the front window shattered. A grappling hook flew through the shop, yanking a rack of bonsai trees off the wall. Smoke bombs detonated in floral patterns. The room filled with fog. From the haze emerged Sophie, dual-wielding tranquilizer pistols. Behind her, Bronson, carrying a flower cart rigged with tear gas. And from the skylight, a drone descended. On the speaker, Gary's voice, calm as ever. "Petals fall like truth. Deception roots in perfume. Pruning ends tonight." Keanu smiled. Teamwork. The fight was swift and messy. Sophie somersaulted through a display of tulips, shot both guards in the knees, and yelled something about revenge for Valentine's Day 2021. Bronson flipped the entire counter and tackled the florist through a row of orchids. She clawed at him, screaming, "I build us an empire." Gary's drone dropped a canister labeled Stink Bomb version 3.1, which knocked out everyone except Keanu, who'd taken a menthol pill moments before. When the fog cleared, Keanu stood over the florist, holding the real vial. "I could destroy this," he said. "Or sell it. Or keep it." The florist grinned through bloody teeth. "You won't. You want to know what love does to people too much." Keanu pocketed the vial. "No. I already know." 1 week later, the team met in a field of lavender outside Avignon, France. Peaceful. Quiet. Bronson's alpaca was chewing flowers. Sophie did yoga on a wine barrel. Gary meditated inside a Wi-Fi hotspot shaped like a flamingo. Keanu stood at the edge of the field with Jean-Pierre Dubois. "You gonna sell it?" Jean-Pierre asked, eyeing the vial. "No," Keanu replied. He pulled out a match. Lit it. Held the flame under the vial. The glass shattered. The scent burned away, mixing with the lavender breeze. "Why?" Jean-Pierre whispered. Keanu turned to him. "Because love isn't meant to be bottled." That night, they drank wine, danced under string lights, and played Uno until 3 a.m. Gary lost and blamed digital interference. Bronson cried during a French rom-com. Sophie kissed Keanu, then pretended it didn't happen. And Keanu? He smiled, for real this time. No cameras. No scripts. Just life. Simple. Chaotic. Beautiful. Epilogue. Some say Keanu went back to Budapest. Others say he opened a tea shop in Kyoto. A few believe he's a ghost who appears when the world needs balance. But I saw him once. In a flower shop in Tokyo. He bought 1 rose, left a silver coin, and whispered, "Keep it real." Then vanished. Like smoke in a scent bottle. The end.